It's kind of weird how this whole thing works.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it says we're now live.
Okay, so you've got it. I didn't, it hasn't popped up on mine, so that's cool.
I just got a thing that said, yeah. So I'm going to share.
Find it. Oh, there we go. Yay! Hey, everybody. We are live on Synergistics page today. You said whoop?
Hi, guys.
Okay, so now we are live. And hopefully we'll get some more people joining us. It's still early. I've got feedback. Do you have Synergistics page today?
I don't think I do, but.
Okay, I've muted. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I can just hear on Zoom, and hopefully everybody else can hear us. So tonight we're going to talk about, I'm trying to find it as well, but it wants to give me either or. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Perfect. So I can't see my Zoom camera, but I can see us on Facebook. And that's kind of giving me a little bother. So sorry, everybody.
I've got a lot of people on mine, so let's go ahead and get started, Cindy. I've got 4 people on mine.
Hi, everybody. So tonight we're going to talk about something that has been really fun for me to explore. I've been exploring it since about 2004. I, first of all, started learning about this when I became a Reiki master, a Reiki person. I got Reiki attuned, and then I've taken the journey of becoming a Reiki master teacher. And in Reiki, we spend a lot of time getting to know the chakra system. And if any of you got to watch the video that I posted earlier today on a few different of our pages, could you just give us a thumbs up in the comment section so we know that you saw the video? If you didn't see the video, it will be linked here and you'll be able to go find it. But the chakra system is 7 major energy points in the body. So it's not just the human body, it's cats, dogs, horses. I don't really know if it's mammals, just mammals, or if it actually goes into the other realm of beings. But for tonight, we're going to talk about the horses and a little bit about the humans and the chakra system. The chakra system, chakra is Sanskrit for energy circle. And so we have 7 of them. We have the crown, which is at the top of the head or between the pole, the ears of the horse. We have the third, which is the third eye chakra, which is that point between our eyes and just a little bit above. With horses, you can usually identify it through the star. Then we have our throat chakra, which is the area for the human on the throat. For the horses, it's under that throat latch area, but it's also all encompassing. So it even goes up behind the ears and behind the pole. Our chakras can be accessed from the front and the back. So with the horses, it can be, you know, the crown is just going to be the crown. The third is just going to be, you know, on that part of their forehead. But the throat can be underneath the throat and over the throat. The heart chakra can be accessed, actually, if I think about it, in 4 different ways: through the pectoral muscle, over the withers, and then it's really hard, so you probably couldn't achieve this, but you could actually do it from side to side. And then we move on down to the solar plexus area, which is really right about where we sit in the saddle. And then we move to the sacral area, the sacral chakra, which is the sacrum area. And then we finish up with the root chakra, which is at the base of their tail. And the chakras work really well with acupuncture and acupressure because it travels. It is in the areas where meridians travel through it. So energy is energy, and energy travels throughout all of us along those meridians, and it builds up in those chakras, and they can become blocked. They can become overactive, just like our meridians can. And what that will look like for horses and even people is we will see an imbalance in them. We can see it in their physical being. We can see it in their emotional state. We can see it in how their organs are operating. We can see it in their mental ability to focus and process. So what does this mean for horse owners and horse riders? Well, there's a lot of different ways that we can explore the chakra system and that we can help our horses and ourselves to be balanced individually and then together as a team. And so if you guys remember last week when Kristen talked about how before you go into join up or connect with your horse or a horse, depending on what circumstances you have, to take some time to just stand, take some nice deep breaths. And when I am centering and focusing and grounding myself, I will actually imagine that my crown chakra is opened up and I'm taking in the universal energy through my breath, and I'm bringing it all the way down through all my chakras, through my root chakra, and out through the soles of my feet into the earth. And so I'm connecting with that higher universal energy, the chi energy, and I'm connecting with Mother Earth and grounding my feet like roots. I imagine roots coming out the soles of my feet and grounding me. And I like the visual of a tree, because if you think of a tree, they're strong and they're grounded through their roots, yet they can still sway and flow with the breeze and the wind. So we don't become rigid. We're flexible and we are fluid. And then when I go in with my horse, I like to connect with them on that heart-to-heart chakra. I imagine really just a beam from my heart going out to their heart. And sometimes if I have a horse that's really shut down or really super overreactive, what I will do is I will imagine that my energy just becomes this big bubble and it encompasses both. Because sometimes when horses are out of balance energetically, or we're out of balance energetically, they don't want to be close. And we don't have to be close to influence their energy. We have a bubble. Our bubble, I like to share with people, if you spread your arms out straight to your side, and you imagine you kind of swing them to the back and swing them to the front, that's your bubble. Well, a horse's bubble is way bigger. It's kind of the length of the horse. And if you made him the center and drew that length all the way around, that's their bubble. So oftentimes when we step into their pen or their paddock, we have entered their bubble. And so depending on where you want to go with your horsemanship, and I'm assuming if you're here listening to this talk, you're interested in energy. You're interested in how do you influence your horse in ways that a lot of people aren't even aware of. And when we walk in to their pen or their pasture or their paddock, and we aren't aware of our energy and we aren't balanced, you might see your horse move away from you. You might even see them turn their back on you. And then there's other times that you walk in and they just are wham, right up on you like a magnet. That has a lot to do with the energy you're bringing in that day. Were you able to let go of your worries and your stresses and your overachieving agenda before you got out of the car and got to the ranch? Or are you still preoccupied? Your horses will tell you where you are energetically by how they respond to you, how they look at you, if they want to be connected with you. So when I get in there, I'm looking at that. You know, how am I feeling? How are they responding to me? And then I will offer up my hands to them. And what I want you guys to think about is we have energy in our hands, and it can be like the palms of our hands can be a source of energy to flow and to receive. And so you'll often hear me in talking about horses that I like to put my heart in my hand. And in that, I am allowing the energy that's flowing from my hands to be energy of love and compassion and peace and connection, sympathy, being in that present moment with them. And I would like for you guys to play the next time you're with your horses. You don't have to be Reiki attuned. We are always sending and receiving energy from one another. And the energy that you send and receive can often be controlled and influenced by your intention. Horses are so forgiving. If you show up with them with your heart in your hand and the purest intention to be the best that you can be for them in that moment. You don't have to be perfect. They don't even know what perfect means. They feel you. They are energy masters. So just reaching out and putting your hands on them, putting your hands on their heart chakra to begin with is a great place to start and to make that connection. And what you might notice, like Kristen was talking about last week, is you might notice a sensation in your hands, the palm of your hands. They might get cold. They might get hot. They might get tingling. Some people notice a circular sensation. You might feel a flush of emotions, love or anxiety or frustration or waves of fear. That is your horse sharing themselves with you energetically. And it's one of the most amazing things to experience because horses connect with each other like that on a daily basis. They feel each other's energy. They feel weather changes. They feel the change of the facility. Have you guys ever gone to a facility and you just get out of your car and it feels, even though it's wide open, it feels confined or it feels heavy? That's the energy that you're feeling, and those horses feel it all the time. So walking.
Real quick, Cindy, can I interrupt you for a second? But
Yep.
that's also one of the reasons that I find it so important that horses are housed in an environment where they can touch each other.
Yes. Yes.
So, because if they don't have that, that's not okay. So sorry, anyway, go ahead. But I just wanted to,
That's absolutely correct. You know, it's hard on horses to be in isolation. They're herd animals and they need that tactile touch. They need that exchange of sight, sound, smell. It's important. So when you're with your horse next time, you guys, put your hands on his heart chakra or hers and just be with them. Take nice deep breaths in through your nose, filling up your lungs and breathing out through the soles of your feet, and really get grounded. And notice your horse's eyes. Notice their breathing pattern. Notice their head position. It's when you begin to really awaken to the energy that is all around us, that we live in constantly. You know, we will walk into a room and we can feel the energy. You know, we describe it as tension, or it makes us feel good. We feel energy and we're not conscious of it. And so many people are are very sensitive to energy, but they're afraid to express it to others because it's in that woo-woo, far out there stuff. And you know what? It's taken me a long time to own this. So for me to be on here tonight, you guys, I got to tell you, this is a huge milestone for me. But you know what? I have become so passionate about the horse that it's time to speak up and help as many people as possible to be energetically connected with their horses. So I just want to, in the video, I talked about the chakras. We're going to do that again tonight. And Kristen and I are working on, where it's up here in our minds still, but we are working on a course addressing all of this. So we're going to talk first about the crown chakra that is between the horse's ears and its aspects, the expressions that you will see, the emotions that it governs, the part of the body that aspects is the best word. Sorry, I'm trying to define it for you guys. Sorry. It's consciousness, wisdom, intuition, connection to spirit. And what I mean spirit is that chi, that universal energy that we are all made of. That's that connection to spirit. And then inner guidance. And it works for us as well. Those are when we focus on those topics and the crown chakra and breathing into that energy point, we can expand that part of us and we can help the horses to expand it if it's shut down.
Hey, real quick too, Cindy, sorry to interrupt you, but we had a question here, or more of a comment, but it leads into a question for me.
Okay.
Anne said that her horse doesn't like that part touched. So what would that either tell you about the horse there, or how would she approach that?
So that is an awesome question. Like I said earlier, you know, when the human wakes up to the concept of energy and we go to touch those body parts, what that can mean is, you know, one, obviously there could be something physically going on, but most likely that area is very guarded. And you'll see it in horses that are high energy, highly sensitive to energy, and has had either emotional trauma, physical trauma, mental trauma. Could be the saddle's always been cinched up super tight. So that would be physical, but it's deeper than that. It's confined and constricting that heart chakra. So what you can do, it was Anne, correct, Kristen?
Leanne.
Leanne, okay. What you can do is start from afar. Start from like 6 inches away from the body. And just, again, put your heart in your hand and just imagine that there's energy flowing from the palms of your hand. The way when I teach a class on this, what I will often refer it to is, for those of us who have seen Star Trek and the beam me up, Scotty, energy, you know, tube that they get into, I imagine it looks something like that coming from my hands, and I gently just flow it. And the crown chakra is intuition, and the third eye is telepathic. So the reason I'm bringing that into the heart is because if you focus on your crown chakra and you focus on your third eye while you open your heart up and showing your hands and offering that energy through the palms of your hands to your horse from as far away as he can handle, and just wait and just visualize, just love. The heart chakra is a beautiful emerald green. Imagine that it's this big glass dome that's filled with green, and you're letting that energy circulate and anything to drop out. Now, what I want you guys to know is you don't need to, nor should you, try to force anything on. When you are offering energy to your horse and focusing on their chakras, You're offering to be just an open channel and allow them to decide when and how they take it. And I like to do this with horses when they're in a confined area and I don't have a halter or anything on them, because I want them to be able to move away. Because what will happen when you start working with chakras, like Kristen was talking the other last week, and they start moving energy that is stuck, and it could be trauma, it could be just built up congestion, who knows? We don't need to analyze it. But as it starts breaking up and moving, the way that the horse processes and releases is they'll yawn, they'll lick and chew, they'll drop their head, they may roll their eyes back in the back of their head like a popping. They may fart, pass gas, they may pee, but often you will see them walk away and they'll just go and stand. And if you look at them closely, you can see that they almost look like they're within themselves. You know, when you see somebody and they're deep in thought, well, you can identify that in horses as well. And you want to give them that time to process that. And if they want more, they'll come back to you. So don't worry, Leanne, if he's not or she's not accepting of the heart chakra. Understand that and offer energy in the way that they can accept it. And don't doubt it. Don't analyze it. Just enjoy the opportunity to gift them that. And the more that you do it, I would love to hear what you see and what you find. But
yeah, she said that makes sense. Her mare had trauma as a filly.
Yes, yes. So, you know, working on that heart chakra, and you know, another one that's going to be really good for you to work on is going to be the solar plexus. Because the solar plexus, which is right behind the heart chakra, the solar plexus is the aspects that are governed by that chakra is power, dominance, strength, fear, and mental activity. So if you can focus on the heart and the solar, either above their top line or even standing from afar, you want to focus where that heart is, which is kind of where the stench is going to go. And then the solar plexus is going to be behind that, where those last 2 or 3 ribs reside. Or visualize where you sit in the saddle. That's the solar plexus. And then just come down to the side and you can offer that energy from afar. And remember, you're sending that love from your heart. You're holding the space for them. You guys, when we start working with our horses and we start working with their chakras, it is a very vulnerable, intimate experience for both of you. And for horses who have not experienced it or been seen in that way, it will be uncomfortable for them before it will begin to be something that they realize is safe and they can let down their guard and they can release. So one of the things that I wanted to share, and we'll talk about the heart and the solar plexus since we're on that topic. Not only are there the aspects, the heart is the center of emotion, love, peace, trust, compassion, sympathy, and forgiveness. And again, we talked about the solar plexus, the power, the dominance, the strength, the fear, the mental activity. So when you have a horse that can't mentally focus, spend a little love on the solar plexus. But these energy wheels also influence body parts. So the heart chakra influences the heart, circulation, the lungs, and the immune system. So when you get into this exploration of working with the chakras, you can help horses with different physical issues by just spending some energy time on those chakras. I will often do a Reiki session on a horse balancing just the chakras, where an acupuncturist or an acupressure massage therapist will come in and you can balance the whole bladder meridian and balance every single part of that horse, cellularly, physically, skeletally, muscularly. It's that energy is that powerful. But when I do Reiki, I can go in and balance their chakras. Now, I'm not saying this is in place of veterinary medicine. No, no, no. It's another thing we can offer to our horses. And keeping in mind, you know, if you've got a horse that doesn't want to be touched on the heart chakra, you could be noticing those other things. Think about the heart, the circulation, the lungs, the immune system. The solar plexus influences the stomach, the liver, the pancreas, the diaphragm, the nervous system, and the lumbar vertebrae. So if you see horses that are imbalanced in those areas, or, you know, having colics and things like that, there's another way that you as a horse owner can offer that healing energy to complement whatever your veterinarian is doing, whatever your chiropractor is doing, whatever traditional medicine, Chinese medicine. It's just another thing. I like to focus on the chakras when I'm riding and when I'm working with horses, because they are so sensitive to energy that the environment can affect them, their food can affect them, the weather can affect them, how we ride them, how we treat them and handle them on the ground can affect them. And if we learn the chakra system and we're mindful of it, we begin to take that connection, that synergistic connection we have with them, and we can take it to a much deeper level. And in the video that I took, we did this afternoon, I shared what I had discovered in a meditation one day about chakras. I was getting ready to teach a bunch of endurance riders in Texas about Reiki, and because when they're out doing their 100-mile rides, they wanted to be able to do something for their horses that would be acceptable within the realm and not show positive for drugs like essential oils. And so I was working in meditation on how can I help this group of people with Reiki? What is the best? They're on a time limit. How can I help them? And what came to me was the chakra system. And if you can help balance and to open and keep those chakras circulating in a clockwise manner, and you'll feel them. The more you play with them, you guys, trust me, you're going to begin to feel things that you would not expect yourself to feel in your hands and just in your intuition. Remember, you have chakras too. So when you have your third eye open while you're working with your horse, your telepathy is stronger. Your crown chakra, if you keep that open and positive, you're going to have more intuition. You're just going to know that you need to do more time on the solar plexus or the sacrum. So what I found, and it's fascinating, and I think about it all the time, is when we tack up a horse and what we're asking them to do, you know, we don't think about it. We put that halter on and it goes right over their crown chakra. It goes right over their throat chakra and underneath their throat chakra, and we pull on it. When we put the headstall on, the brow band now goes over the third eye chakra, and we have the bit in their mouth and we're pulling on it. When you pull on that bit, it's also putting pressure on those three very, very important chakras. And then we put our saddle on and we cinch it up, and it goes right over their heart, and we cinch it up. And so now it's gripping around their heart. So back to you, Leanne, you know, if that filly first had the first time that filly had a saddle put on, and she was scared and her heart was pumping and she didn't understand what was going on. And remember, that's the center of emotions. And they cinched that up super tight and she couldn't breathe. You know, you're affecting that energy point. So then we've got the saddle, if it's English or Western. Where we sit is pretty much the same place, just maybe a little bit different pressure feeling. We sit on the heart chakra and we sit on the sacra, the solar plexus. And so I want to remind you, the heart is where all their emotions are. And the solar plexus is where their power and their dominance and their strength and fear resides. And we put our root chakra, let's go to the root chakra for a minute, which is the will to live, life force, survival, trust, security, and grounding. Excuse my bird in the background. I feel like I'm yelling over the bird. But think about this for a minute, you guys. We set our root chakra on their heart and their solar plexus. And if we're not balanced, if we didn't do our work before we climbed on, and we're fearing for our life, and we're wondering if we're going to survive the ride, and we're not grounded, we are dumping all that energy into their heart and their solar plexus, while if we're not grounded, if we're not open and present with them, I can guarantee you we have weight in our stirrups and we are gripping onto the reins, most likely tighter than we need to. And we may even be balancing with our hands and our feet. And we're influencing not only their physical body, not only their mental body and their emotional body, but we're influencing them energetically. We have now harnessed, if you will, their three most sacred connection to the universal source of energy: their crown, their third eye, and their throat latch, or their throat, which with that head stall, and we're pulling on the mouth, which is it's how they survive. It's how they meet one of their basic needs through eating and drinking. And if we're not mindful of who we are in that moment when we're on their back, we are doing them a huge disservice. And I don't want any of you guys to walk away from this going, oh my God, I never want to put anything on my horse again. I'm never getting on their back. I'm really messing them up. That's not what this conversation's about. What this conversation about is enlightenment. We don't know what we don't know till we know it. And when we open up to understanding that these are living energy beings, and one of the reasons we're so drawn to them, because they are amazing at reading our energy. They're amazing at calming us. They're amazing at giving us the sense of freedom with their power and their grace, you know? So this talk tonight is to help you to expand your awareness in a way that maybe you weren't aware of. Maybe you had heard somewhere around somebody mention chakras, somebody mention energy work with horses, somebody mention riding within the bubble.
Real quick, Cindy, too, along those lines, can you give a definition of what a chakra is?
A chakra is, you're gonna catch me on this one, so I am going to give you that definition as I post it today on our page. So bear with me, you guys, because I am going to give that to you.
It's complicated, as you guys can tell.
So
for the people that didn't know, it's complicated.
the definition of a chakra is it's a concentrated energy center of the body, centers of the body. Chakra is a Sanskrit term and it means wheel or disc and is derived from the root word chakra or chakra. And it's basically a spinning wheel of energy and light. So that is the definition of it. And there's many chakras within the body, but those are the 7 main governing ones that are very influential in body, mind, and emotions and spirits. So in spirit, meaning that, you know, connection, that heart. So does that answer that question? Did that help?
Yes.
Now my dogs are gonna bark. Life at the ranch, right?
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any other questions about the chakra? Or I'm trying to think, I went through, I think I went from the crown to the third eye and then onto the heart. So let's go back to the throat. The throat's aspects is the self-expression, communication, creativity, and understanding. That's that part that we put the throat latch on. So it's just a good thing to think about if you're interested in this is, you know, what part of my horse am I embracing and nurturing or shutting down? And how can I open it up? So another way that I look at that is when I'm riding and I'm communicating with my horse through my hands and my body, I want to make sure that I'm sending that energy and I'm aware of when I make contact on those reins, all of the different aspects of him that I'm influencing, nurturing, or shutting down. And again, you know, when I'm riding and I get scared and I get tight, I have one of those what we call, oh no moments, you know, where everything gets tight. I remember that chakra of mine that's connecting with my horse's heart and solar plexus is my survival and my will to live. And I try to breathe into it and relax and flow right through him so that he doesn't take on my energy. So when we think of the chakras and we think of our horses and we think of ourselves, if we can just try to take more responsibility of managing our energy through our breath, through our present moment focusing, and being grounded, and you can be grounded in the saddle like you're on the ground, we help to support them and we create trust and we create confidence and we create that harmony of energy, you know. Or when I first started this talk, I was talking about we have energy bubbles, they have energy bubbles. And when we come together, our energy flows together and becomes a whole nother source of energy, and they influence that energy and we influence that energy. So the more that we can ride within that bubble of energy, and the more that we can learn about our chakras and how to stay balanced, the more that we influence that in them, and it becomes a dance. You know, you look at those horse and riders who you can't tell where the rider ends and the horse begins. That's a lot of practice, and that's a lot of skill, and that's a lot of knowledge. But it's also learning to work with that energy bubble and you be the master of that combined energy bubble that you have created together. Kristen, do you have, I feel like I've said a lot of words. I hope they've made sense to everybody. And Kristen, do you want to add anything to all of that?
No, I think, I mean, for me, a lot of that makes sense. That's a lot of what I teach in the saddle is connecting with those chakras in the horse and opening yourself to the horse and the gates. One of the things earlier you had mentioned is when your energy is shut off, that when you approach your horse will go away. We also played with that in the video we made last week as well, where I had intense energy and my horse immediately moved away from me. And this is the same horse that she worked on this morning. Whereas when I opened my heart, opened my gates, and I approached him, it was a completely different interaction. So make sure you check out that video as well. But all of this stuff that Cindy's talking about is going to ties into everything that we teach in the saddle in our clients only section, as well as, on the ground in that section as well. We have a whole system. I don't like calling it a system because that makes me think it's like cookie cutter. That's not what it is, because it's individualized for every person, horse. But there's a whole method, I guess, around this and connecting to all this, and traditional riding as well. It's putting all of that together in what people think. Is people say, well, I was trained and I show, and it's not so far out there really. And it's combining all of that and putting all of those methods together to make things really work for people and work for the horses. So no, I think everything that you said was great. I learned some stuff. I know some of our viewers did, and we really appreciate everybody with all the questions. That's awesome, because that helps us know what you guys want to know, right? Because we're here to help you. That's why we're doing these. We're here to help grow the horse community. Cindy and I's original reason for doing this was, we were just chatting in the barn one day, and I just said, I have a dream, I have a vision, and Cindy did as well, turns out, to get information out there to the masses so that we can help more people with their horses and help more horses. So for us, having you guys ask us questions about this stuff, that helps us help you. And that helps us with our dream and our vision. So, yeah, sorry.
I want to come back to something you said about, people who have had traditional training, and, whether you're reining, you're cutting, your dressage, your 3-day eventing, your pleasure, your trail riding. For me and Kristen, it begins with the relationship and all of those things that really excite you, that you choose to do with your horse. This complements it. This actually, understanding this depth of the horse and the relationship will only make your partnership stronger, and it's going to make you be better for your horse and your horse better for you. And so, the reason we chose synergistic horsemanship is because synergistic is about harmony. It's about balance. It's about connection. So it just really is all encompassing everything that we're so passionate about. She also touched a little bit on our clients only library. So what we haven't done, which I was surprised, Krista, when I dawned on me, is we haven't shared with you guys during these Thursdays live, and this isn't a sales pitch as much as it is, we want you to know who we are and what we're doing. We started out with the intent of just making a YouTube library channel so people could grow, but then we realized that together we have so much to share that we decided to make an online membership program. So we have a couple Facebook groups. One is our private group, and we invite lots of people. You can You can request, you can find it on Facebook, you can request to join. We put a lot of good topic information on there. We share our wins and successes, all the members do too. But then we have our online membership, which is a monthly program. And in that you get the live Q&As like we're doing now. You get your own client-only private Facebook group where we do more in-depth sharing of our knowledge and techniques. You also get once a month one-on-one coaching. You have on YouTube, we have a client-only library where there are tons of training. Well, not tons, over-exaggerating, sorry. There's going to be tons. Right now, there's lots, and it's growing, of training videos that are only accessible for our clients. Did I leave anything out?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be all about like horse husbandry, nutrition for horses, as well as training and all that stuff. We want to make it an all-inclusive place. So
Yep. And then on our this page, we do interviews. We go around and interview other professionals and other things about horses, and we share that because we want to help everybody be the best that they can be for their horses. And we're trying to make it in a place where you can find it. So if you want to know more about our membership program, please fire us off a message, make a comment in this live feed. Anyway, you want to know more about that, we would love to share that with you. And I really want to thank all of you guys for joining tonight, for engaging, for saying hi, letting us know you were here. Please comment below, check out our YouTube channel, like it if you haven't, subscribed if you haven't. And we will be back here again next Thursday night at 6:15 with another great topic.
Yep. And we'll be posting it on our pages. You know, we're trying to organize things with ourselves as well as possible other people to join us. But with the whole COVID-19 shutdown, it's been a logistical challenge sometimes, but we'll get it done for you guys. So.
Yes, we will. Until then, you guys, I want to say thank you so much for joining us and engaging with us, and let us know what we can do to, if you have a topic that you're interested in, please let us know. We can get that researched and we can talk about it another night.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I am struggling to access that meeting to end it. I don't know what happened. I'll get it. Kristen, can you close that meeting out on your end? All right. Crazy. Where did it go?